towards guiding students in building industry-relevant competencies. His expertise lies in bridging the gap between academic knowledge and real-world application. He emphasizes practical learning, adaptability, and continuous upskilling. Akshat is passionate about mentoring students and helping them explore diverse career opportunities. His session focuses on navigating modern career paths in pharma and allied sectors. He encourages the student to think beyond conventional roles. His insight help learners become industry-ready professionals and AI experts. So, having said so, I welcome Akshat towards this session, and you may take over, Akshat.
Thank you so much, Ms. Barsha, for a lovely introduction.
And thank you so much, Barsha, for introducing me. Okay, I think, sir, we should start.
Yeah, please go ahead. We can start, absolutely.
Let me share the screen. So the PPT is visible, slides
Yes.
are visible.
Yes, we can just hide that pop-up of stop sharing and hide all.
Okay.
Rest, it's good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think everything is good, fine.
Time we are, yeah, good to go. We can begin.
Okay, so hello everyone, good afternoon. So my name is Akshat Sunil Jain, and always मैं जब भी अपनी क्लास लेता हूँ in Pharma Minds, so I am senior educator of organic chemistry, medicinal chemistry, analytical chemistry, as well as have expertise in aptitude and LR in Pharma Minds. So जब भी मैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देता हूँ तो मैं हमेशा इससे स्टार्ट करता हूँ कि जो नए हैं इस क्लास में उनके लिए एक छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन हो जाए, और जो इतने टाइम से क्लासेस अटेंड कर रहे हैं उन्हें ये पता है कि हम किसी इंट्रोडक्शन के मोहताज नहीं. So with same energy, आज ये सेशन भी ऐसे ही चलेगा. So I think my introduction is clear with my slide, and all my credentials, all my achievements are on the slide. So I will not repeat it again. Okay, so session की तरफ बढ़ते हैं, and we will not waste time. जितना हो सकेगा उतना प्रोडक्टिव रहेंगे, जितना हो सकेगा उतना आपको डिलीवर करेंगे. So first of all, starting this master class, we would start with prompt engineering. Okay, so slides are visible. Just say yes or no. Please, anyone give me confirmation that slides are visible or not?
Yeah, they are completely visible.
Yes,
Okay. So first we would start with prompt engineering. Okay, so बहुत ही well known concept है. Even मैं अब ये बोलूँगा कि it's an outdated concept in the AI era, but still, when you are starting your journey in AI, you have to start from very basic. Whenever I mentor any student or any of my clients in this journey, I tell them to start from very basic, and the basic starts from learning Python and prompt engineering. Okay, so today also we would start with the very basic part, that is prompt engineering. Okay, so this would be my whole agenda for this workshop. Okay, so coming to what is prompt engineering, we should know what is prompt engineering. So let's define prompt engineering. So it's an art and science of designing inputs to AI model that reliably produces high quality, accurate and useful output. Okay, so basically prompt engineering is something that how we are designing our input. ठीक है, हम AI मॉडल को अपना इनपुट दे कैसे रहे हैं. ठीक है, सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर इन आवर इनपुट. जैसा हम प्रॉम्प्ट या जैसा हम क्वेरी AI मॉडल को देंगे वैसा ही आउटपुट हमें मिलेगा. जितना आप इन डिटेल प्रॉम्प्ट, जितना क्लियर विद क्लैरिटी अगर आप प्रॉम्प्ट देंगे, आप अपना क्वेरी देंगे, उतना अच्छा आपको आउटपुट AI से मिलेगा. So that's all about prompt engineering. Okay, so in today's time we have 50 plus patterns of prompting. Okay, so you don't need to learn every pattern. There are many patterns and have their many use cases. Okay, so each pattern has a specific use case. So according to your use case, you can learn the pattern. So in today's workshop, I will teach you 8 major patterns and 8 of my patterns. Okay, so जो मैंने डिजाइन किया है, जो मैंने R&D किया है, वो पैटर्न्स भी मैं आज आपको सिखाऊंगा. ठीक है, so that you can leverage the power of AI to infinity times. Okay, what I am telling you is to infinity times. Okay, so what prompt engineering does? Okay, so जो आपका input है, उसका quality, उसका output का quality it uplifts to 10x times. Okay, token cost reduction. So when you are giving a query, if you don't know how to engineer it, how to prompt it, then what you will do? You will write in very in detail. Okay, so now the thing is that the crisp is that whenever you are querying AI, आपको ये ध्यान रखना है कि आपको बहुत स्पेसिफिक रहना है अपनी क्वेरी के साथ. ओके, आप कुछ भी मत लिखो. ओके, यू हैव टू बी वेरी स्पेसिफिक विद योर क्वेरी. ओके, जस्ट गिव व्हाट यू वांट. Don't make AI be confused with your query. Okay. So 73% prompt token reduction, because as you know, in the language of LLMs and AI, there's one thing called token. Okay, so what is token? So simply token का मतलब है कि जो भी आप word लिखते हो या character use करते हो अपनी query में, उसकी एक value होती है, that is token. Okay, so every AI model has a token limit. एक बार वो टोकन लिमिट रीच हो गई, देन एआई वोंट गिव यू एनी रिस्पॉन्स, और अगर वो रिस्पॉन्स देगा भी तो वो बहुत गंदा एंड वेग होगा. ठीक है, सो हम क्या करते हैं, विद द हेल्प ऑफ प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग वी डिजाइन प्रॉम्प्ट्स जो एक बहुत स्पेसिफिक टोकन लिमिट्स में भी हो, हमारा मैसेज भी एआई को कन्वे कर दे, एंड द आउटपुट व्हाट वी गेट इज 10x ऑफ आवर यूज्ड लोकल प्रॉम्प्ट. ओके, रीयूजेबिलिटी, एक बार आपने एक प्रॉम्प्ट डिजाइन कर दिया, इट इज रीयूजेबल एट एनी टाइम. ओके, सो सिंपली हाउ टू डिजाइन अ प्रॉम्प्ट. ठीक है, एक प्रॉम्प्ट को कैसे डिजाइन किया जाता है उसका एक सिंपल पैटर्न मैं आपको बता देता हूँ. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू गिव द कॉन्टेक्स्ट. ओके, सो व्हाट योर एआई नीड्स टू डू. ओके, then you have to define the persona. Okay, so this is the major part. For an example, I want my AI to do data analysis. So how I will define the persona, how I will define the role is that you are working as a senior data analyst in McKinsey within 30 plus year of experience. You have created 10 plus clients and published this much papers. So you are defining the persona. So you are telling AI that you have did this in the past, and now I am giving you the data, so do the same with that expertise level. Okay, so you are defining the expertise of AI. Okay, then what you will define is your objective. Now what you want AI to do. Okay, so you want AI to do the data analysis, so you will give the data, your queries, that please generate a KPI dashboard, please generate this chart, okay, and examples. So examples mean that many of time we have to give AI examples. So how the examples are defined. So for an example, if I want my AI to do data analysis, so I will define some case studies in front of AI. Okay, so I will define that when I gave a query that build a bubble chart. So, and even after defining that query, I will write the answer. Okay, then I will define a query, then I will write the answer. Again, I will define the query and I will write the answer. So इससे क्या होगा, AI को एक example मिलेगा. So what you are doing, you are defining examples to AI for your output. If you want your output in a specific pattern, तो उस specific pattern के लिए आपको AI को समझाना पड़ेगा, और उसके लिए आपको AI को क्या देना होगा, examples देना होगा. ठीक है. Next is rules. Okay, so rules are here that what he needs to follow, what the AI needs to follow, what are the barriers. Okay, so always whenever you are designing prompt, define it or design it in a very safe and ethical way. You cannot cross the boundaries of any LLM or AI. So here the rules means that you are defining some constraints, you are defining some boundaries for AI, that you have to do this much only, you have to design this charts only. Okay, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So you are defining some rules. And lastly, the output format, in which format you want the output. You want a KPI dashboard, you want Pareto chart, you want bubble chart. So you will define that in output format. So this was basically a simple prompt step. Okay. Coming to the pattern one. So simply, I would teach you 8 traditional patterns which were followed. Okay, and then I will teach you some of my patterns. Okay, so first is zero shot prompting. So in zero-shot prompting, what we do, we define the role. For an example, I have defined you are a senior business analyst at McKinsey and Company. Then you define the task. Okay, summarize the following earnings, called transcript. Okay, you are giving a transcript and you want the summarized form of it. Then you define the constraints. So what you are defining the boundaries. So it should be maximum of 150 words. Lead with a single most important financial insight. So these are all boundaries, okay, rules. Then you will define the output format, in which output you want the results. So you need an executive summary, key insights, revenue, risk flag, and your transcript. Okay, then you will paste your transcript, your input, and then the AI will give output in this format. Okay, so this is basically how you prompt the AI. So this is one of the patterns, zero-shot prompting. Okay, so in zero-shot prompting, you are just using pure instructions, no examples. So the best use case for zero-shot prompting is when you want to summarize something, okay, when you want to classify something, translate something, or you want to do a direct question and answer with AI. So if you want your AI to act like your teacher or something, then you can use zero-shot prompting. Or if you are reading a literature or something, and if you want the summarized form of that literature, then you can use zero-shot prompting. Okay. Next pattern is few shot prompting. Okay, so what is few shot prompting? Now, in few shot prompting, you will teach by example. Okay, so first we will define the task, write the product description in our brand voice. Then we will give the examples. For an example, if my product is a wireless mouse, then what should be the output? If my product is a standing desk, then what should be the output? And if my product is a laptop stand, then what should be the output? Okay. Now, right, now you are defining the product, your input. Now I want what? Description for noise cancelling headphone. So what the AI will do? AI will follow these patterns of example. Okay. So it will follow the pattern and will return you output in the same way. Okay. So it is best for when you need a structured output, when you are designing a brand voice, you are doing classification, or you are doing data formatting. Okay, data cleaning, anything. Okay. Third pattern and most used pattern, I can say the most used pattern. Even when I started my prompt engineering journey, I started with chain of thoughts. Okay. So chain of thought is my personal favorite. So what you do in chain of thoughts, you force the model to reason step by step. Okay, so you are giving a step-by-step instruction. So first of all, you will define a role. You are a SaaS pricing strategist with 20 years at Strip, HubSpot, and Salesforce. So you are defining the role. Then you are giving a task. And then you are giving a step-by-step instruction. So what it has to do in step one, what it has to do in step two. So basically, what the AI will do, with your input, it will apply each and every step, and then it will give you the output. More refining the chain of thought, what you can do is, आपने role define किया, आपने task define किया, आपने step by step, आपने सारे अपने steps को define किया, then at the last you can define output format. ठीक है, in which format you need the output. तो ऐसे आप हर एक पैटर्न ऑफ प्रॉम्प्टिंग को भी रिफाइन कर सकते हैं अपने हिसाब से. ओके, या अपने टास्क के अकॉर्डिंग. ओके. Fourth is most commonly used role prompting. Okay, so in this you are defining the persona, that you are this person, you have achieved this. Okay, so you are clinical pharmacologist, you are ex-FDA advisory committee member, 47 published papers on drug interaction, your reason for the mechanism first. So you are defining a whole persona. Now the AI has to act like a person. Okay, so now the AI will act like Dr. Sarah Chen, who has completed his M.Pharm.D. She is a clinical pharmacologist. She has published 47 published papers. Okay, so you are defining the expertise of AI. Then what you will define is the identity rules. Okay, so basically after defining persona, you will define that what Dr. Sarah Chen follows. Okay, or what Dr. Sarah Chen expertise is, or how Dr. Sarah Chen works. Okay, and then you will define the task and the output format. Okay. So this is basically the role prompting. Coming to the tree of thoughts. Okay, so here what you do, you explore multiple solution branches in parallel. So first of all, you will define the role. So you have defined that you are a chief scientific officer with experience scaling 3 startups from 1 million to 100 million. So basically, if you see in every pattern of prompting, what remains common is defining the role. The best you will define the role, the more quality output you will get. Okay, so in defining role, you have to define everything, what it do, and what the position he is holding in the office, and like with how many companies he has worked, the experience level, the projects he has catered to the clients, and how many startups he has built, how many websites he has built. So according to your use case, okay. Then you will define the task. Then you will explore all three branches before finally deciding. So in tree of thoughts, you are having three branches. Okay. So branch A is direct market entry. Branch B is partner-led expansion. Branch C is product-led growth. So here you are giving three options to AI. And the AI has to choose according to the task that what it has to follow. So in tree of thoughts, you have multiple solutions. Okay, you have multiple solution patterns, and the AI now will select that what it has to follow according to the task. Okay, and then you have to score each branch. Okay, so for an example, in this prompt, we have three branches. So what AI will do, AI will follow branch A also, branch B also, and branch C also for this specific task. Then it will rate out the branches. Okay, capital efficiency and risk. Okay, so you are having multiple solution branches. AI will either select one of them or will select three of them and score which will be the best. Okay, and then you are giving synthesis. So even you can recommend dominant branch. You can tell him that you have to follow branch A, or you can tell him to follow the hybrid branch. You can tell him to follow A plus B, A plus C, B plus C. But for that you have to define multiple patterns first. Okay, clear? Okay. Sixth pattern is React prompting. Okay, so in React prompting, again, you are defining the role that you have to act like an autonomous research agent with tools, web search, calculator, and summarize. So React prompting is basically used for building agentic AI workflows. So I will cover that in later part also. Okay, so in agentic AI workflow or with Claude. Okay, so आप सभी ने Claude का नाम सुना होगा, Claude AI का. So Claude AI is one of the AI जिससे आप अपने कंप्यूटर में या अपने लोकली जो होस्टेड पीसीज हैं उनके अंदर जितने टूल्स हैं उनको लोकली कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. फॉर एन एग्जांपल, विथ क्लॉड यू कैन कनेक्ट गूगल, क्रोम, कैलकुलेटर, एनीथिंग. ओके, सो रिएक्ट प्रॉम्प्टिंग का बेसिकली यूज होता है, और मैं बोल सकता हूँ बेस्ट यूज होता है व्हेन यू आर यूजिंग सच एन एजेंट जिसके साथ आप अपने कंप्यूटर के टूल्स और वेब सर्च, क्रोम, बाकी भी जो एक्सटर्नल टूल्स हैं उनको आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, या एक्सटर्नल एपीआईज हैं उनको आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. ठीक है. सो in this role, what I am doing is I am defining that you are an autonomous research agent and you have to call these tools: web search, calculator, summarize. Then you are giving a task: build a competitive intelligence brief on top 5 generative AI infrastructure. Okay, so ये क्या करेगा, एक बार रोल डिफाइन होने के बाद what it will do, it will call the Google Chrome, it will call the calculator, it will call a summarization tool. जितने भी आप tools, APIs, वेबसाइट्स डिफाइन करोगे उन सबको क्या करेगा, वो कॉल करेगा. ओके, देन यू आर गिविंग अ रिएक्ट लूप. ओके, सो यू आर गिविंग अ सीक्वेंस. सो फर्स्ट थॉट व्हाट इट हैज टू गिव. ओके, you are defining 4 thoughts. First you have to give thought 1, then what should be the action, and then what should be the observation. So in React prompting, we are defining a loop. First give a thought, then do the action, and then see the observation. Second, again, then you have to give the second thought, then the action 2, and you have to see the observation. Then you have to follow the thought 3, then you have to do action 3, and then you have to see the observation. And same for thought 4, action 4, and then observation. After getting each and every observation, what the AI will do, AI will see the observation. Does it match the quality? ठीक है, वो ये भी देखेगा कि जो मुझे ऑब्जर्वेशन मिला है और जो उससे आउटपुट जनरेट हुआ है, क्या वो क्वालिटी पैरामीटर्स को मैच करता है. अगर वो क्वालिटी पैरामीटर्स को मैच नहीं करता है तो एआई क्या करेगा, वापस लूप में जाके सारे थॉट्स को वन बाय वन वापस एग्जीक्यूट करेगा इन अ सीक्वेंस. So it is in a sequence that you have to first execute thought 1, then you have to execute thought 2, then you have to execute thought 3, and then you have to execute thought 4. So in a sequence ये सारी चीजों को execute करेगा. He will see the observation. So for an example, अगर उसको thought 2 में observation अच्छा नहीं मिलता है तो वो thought 1 में वापस जाएगा. अगर उसको thought 3 में observation अच्छा नहीं मिलता है तो वो thought 2 में वापस जाएगा, उसको रीरन करेगा. Same with thought 4. And after that, even the final output, जो उसको final output है, उसको भी वो evaluate करेगा on the quality parameters. So in this prompt, you can define even the quality parameters. So quality parameters पे उसको evaluate करेगा, and if it matches the quality parameters, then fine. If it doesn't matches the quality parameters, तो ये loop वापस run करेगा in the same sequence. Okay. So the best use case of this prompting is when you want to build agents, agentic AI workflow. If you want to use some tools with your LLM, with your AI, you want to add an external tool. If you want to build research pipelines, okay, multi-step automations, okay, you want to create an automation inside your AI. So ये pattern of prompting will help you a lot. Okay. Then comes the self-consistency. Okay, so what you are doing in self-consistency, run the problem through multiple independent reasoning paths. So what you are doing in self-consistency is that you are defining a rule. Okay, and in that rule, now what I will do is I will define independent agents. Okay, मैं अपने prompt के अंदर 3 agents को define करूँगा. So for an example, मैंने यहाँ पर जो role दिया, that was market and access advisory board, which contains 3 independent senior analysts. Okay, then I will define that each and every analyst what it will do. Okay, so the role of the analyst, how it needs to reason out, what it needs to follow, how it needs to execute out, and how it needs to conclude. Okay, so analyst 1, analyst 2, and analyst 3. They all three are independent of each other. So analyst 1 अपना अलग से execute करेगा, then analyst 2, and then analyst 3. Not like react prompting की thought 1 का जो observation है वो thought 2 का input बनेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. यहाँ पर हर एक क्वेरी एक एनालिस्ट जो भी इंडिपेंडेंट एजेंट्स हैं वो अपना अलग अलग एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे, एंड देन व्हाट वी विल डू अ कंसिस्टेंसी चेक. ओके, सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग बेसिकली, वी आर सीइंग आवर टास्क. ठीक है, वी आर सीइंग आवर टास्क फ्रॉम 3 डिफरेंट लेंसेज. ठीक है, हमारा जो भी टास्क है, डेटा है, हम उसको 3 डिफरेंट लेंसेज से देख रहे हैं. 3 डिफरेंट लोगों की हम ओपिनियन ले रहे हैं. सो इधर बहुत एक सिंपल चीज है. व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज यू आर डिफाइनिंग 3 इंडिपेंडेंट एजेंट्स जिनके डिफरेंट डिफरेंट ओपिनियंस होंगे, एंड देन व्हाट यू विल डू अ कंसिस्टेंसी चेक. वेयर डू ऑल 3 एग्री, वेयर डाइवरेज. सो अगर उनका 3 लेंस के थ्रू देखकर एनालिसिस सेम है, then it will give you the same analysis, and even it will tell you that with different lens what different type of analysis you are getting. Okay, and then you will define the final verdict. Okay, so you will define that which analyst we have to follow. Okay, what are the minority note and the deal structure. So you will define your output format. Basically in a very simple way you will define your output format, और आप ये भी डिफाइन कर दोगे कि किस एनालिस्ट को मुझे फॉलो करना है. ठीक है, क्लियर है? ओके, now comes the 8th pattern of prompting is constitutional AI. So in constitutional AI, as the name suggests, you are defining a constitution. So first of all, you will define the role and then the constitution. And in constitution, all rules are non-negotiable. Okay, AI has to follow this rule. This is a mandatory rules that AI has to follow. Rule number 1, no unsubstantiated performance claims. Okay, so you are defining all the rules and then you are defining the task. So AI will follow all the rules that are non-negotiable, and according to that rules, constraint and boundaries, it will give you the output. And then you are also defining the loop. After giving output, review each line against all 5 rules. Okay, so as you get the output, what you have to do, आपको हर एक लाइन को, उस आउटपुट की हर एक लाइन को ये सारे 5 रूल्स का जो बैरियर है उससे पास करना है, उसके स्क्रीन से पास करना है. अगर कोई भी लाइन इन रूल्स को वायलेट करती है, ठीक है, देन रीराइट इट. ओके, एंड रीराइट until all 5 rule passes, and then you have to deliver the final version of your output. So this was constitutional AI pattern. Okay, clear? So these were 8 traditional patterns which were followed previous year. Okay, now these are not outdated, but still we have more far better patterns. Okay, so the 15 law of prompting, what you need to follow is, the do's is be specific about rule, task, format and constraint. Be very specific. Don't use any vague words like you have to act like a king, you have to act like a queen, be good, nice, better. Okay, सो ये सारे वर्ड सिर्फ आपका टोकन लिमिट खत्म करते हैं, इनका कोई भी एआई में इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं होता है. AI will not give importance to this word. So be specific about role, task, format and constraints. Provide examples. Okay, so the more you will provide examples, the more the AI will get trained on your pattern. So आपके पैटर्न पे उतना ज्यादा वो क्या होता जाएगा, ट्रेन होता जाएगा. Okay, use step by step reasoning. Okay, so जैसा आपने देखा in chain of thought, in tree of thought, what we did is we did step by step reasoning. Okay, we provided a pattern that the AI has to follow. Okay, you have to also set output length, like in how many words you want output, in what structure you want output. Okay, iterate and version your prompts. So basically आपको क्या करना है, अपने जो prompts हैं उनको refine करते रहना है with new patterns. Okay, and for that you have to be updated with what's going on advanced in AI and prompt engineering. Okay, test with edge cases before deploying. So before deploying any prompt or before giving it to any client, what we do basically, so what we do is we test the prompts with different case studies, data set, and after getting the output, we evaluate the output. If we see that output is not up to our mark, then we will go and iterate. We will refine our prompt. Again, we will give the data sets. We will see the output. Okay. Include negative examples. So what negative example means, that what AI has not to do. Okay, so you have to define that also. आपने ये तो बता दिया AI को कि आपको करना क्या क्या है, but you have to also define a boundary, and that boundary is what it has not to do. Okay, so don't cross any ethical barrier, don't cross any be in a very safe limit. Okay, don't do any unsafe practices. So you have to define it. Okay, ground with context and domain knowledge. So what does it mean? So whenever you are giving a context, give a very rich context. For an example, if I am defining any role or persona, what I will do, I will define everything. What degree the person has did, how many papers he has published, like even the domain knowledge. Okay, so be very rich in your domain knowledge with your task knowledge. Okay. So I will touch this context engineering versus prompt engineering. So basically, what is context engineering? So let me take it. So it's it's like a very new term, which is replacing prompt engineering. So basically, prompt engineering means you are writing a question. Okay, if you are simply writing a question, you are simply writing an input. But context engineering means you are building an AI agent. जैसे आप क्लॉड को यूज कर रहे हो, वैसे ही आप खुद का क्लॉड जैसा एक AI एजेंट बिल्डअप करते हो. So what you are building is the building mind that answers it. So context engineering is you are architecting information flow. You are architecting, you are building your own intelligence system. So the basic example of context engineering is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation System. Okay, so in context engineering, what you define is what the tools it has to use, because ये आपका पूरा एक independent AI agent होने वाला है. So इसमें जो tools होगा वो भी आप define कर सकते हो, agents को आप define कर सकते हो, ठीक है. Then system prompts. So you are designing an entire AI environment like Claude, ChatGPT, and everything. So basically, prompt engineering is simple English. You are writing prompts. Okay, you are writing inputs. But in context engineering, you are defining whole AI environment. You are building agents with help of coding, with help of Python, JavaScript. Okay, so we discussed this, the prompt architecture. Now I would take you and I would give you in this session my 5 hybrid frameworks which can overpower any of the AI agent. And we will have a hands-on practice also. So अगर आपके पास laptop है, so you can switch on the laptop and जैसा जैसा मैं बोलूँ, you can do that. Okay. And don't worry, after this session, even I would request Payam sir कि अगर हम हो सकता है तो सारे रिसोर्सेस माय ऑल प्रॉम्प्ट्स एंड पीपीटी हम स्टूडेंट्स को अगर अवेलेबल करवा सके तो ओके
Yes,
सो
we'll talk about that after the session, Akshat. No
ओके
issues. Yeah.
थैंक यू सर so first pattern of prompting that you need to learn is Cipher framework. Okay, Cipher framework is what you are defining is first you define the context. Then you define your intent, what you need, your crystal clear goal with your success criteria. Okay, then you define the persona, expert role. Okay, you like I have given you the example how to define the persona. Then you define the hierarchy. So in hierarchy, what we will do is we will define some rules and even we will tell the AI that which is the rule it has to follow the first, the priority of rules. Okay, what matters the most. Then we will define the examples and even we will give a loop, a quality gate check. Okay, so quality gate check means जैसे ही आपको आउटपुट मिलता है आप कुछ पैरामीटर्स को वहां डिफाइन करोगे कि आपने एआई को ऐसा बोला कि ये जो आउटपुट है इनको आपको इन पैरामीटर्स पे स्क्रीन आउट करना है क्वालिटी चेक करना है if it matches that quality your quality parameters your quality standards then only the output is valid if it doesn't matches that तो आपको क्या करना है आपको सेल्फ प्रिडिक्ट लूप का फॉलो करके आपको वापस से इनपुट की तरफ जाना है सारे स्टेप को hierarchically follow करना है and then you have to give the best output. Okay, so this is Cipher framework. Okay, so best use cases when you need to have an high-end creative generation with a strong structure. So ideally, this all 5 hybrid framework are designed by me, okay, and my team. So what we did is we have studied 50 plus patterns of prompting, and out of that, the most powerful patterns we picked that up and हमने उन सबको मिला के okay, so every framework what you will see now is a mixture of 10 plus patterns of prompting, 10 plus traditional patterns of prompting. Okay. So Cipher framework is ideal for website generation, UI UX system, portfolio site. So if you want to build your website, then this is the best prompting framework you can use. Even I will give you a demo. Okay, now starts the demo. Okay. So I think Claude is visible to all.
Yes, it is visible, absolutely.
Okay. So let me
There
go.
was one this thing in the chat box by Dipansh Dubey, ACT framework, AIM framework, sorry, ACT, intent and message.
Okay. I will answer each and every query
Yeah,
at the end of the session.
all right,
Okay.
all right.
Okay. So basically I have written each and every prompt, ठीक है? So उसमें ताकि हमारा time waste ना हो. So this is basically one of the prompts what I have designed for one of my client. Okay. So you can see that if I want to build a portfolio website, so what I will do is first I will define the context. Okay, so I have defined the context that you are operating inside a premium web design studio. The client is a professional seeking a personal portfolio website. Okay, so you are defining each and everything in a context. Then you need to define your crystal clear intent, what you need from the AI and what you will give to the AI. Okay. Then you will define the persona that he is a senior full stack designer with 15 years experience at this company. Okay. Then his behavior, observations, okay, skills, everything you will define in the persona, and then the hierarchy, your priority order, okay, then the examples. So for an example, if I give an input of 5 years Python built ML pipeline at Google, so what I will do, I will just upload this prompt, I will just upload my CV, okay, and the AI will build a whole website out of my CV, okay. With input, you are defining the output. So you are giving examples to the AI, what it needs to follow. Then constraints, what it has not to do. Okay. So the website should be built of pure modern CSS and vanilla JS only. So it has to use the modern tech only. Okay. Very important thing is that whenever you are defining a prompt, so prompt likhna is not a big skill, but the big skill is that you need to have a domain knowledge. Without domain knowledge, you cannot write a good prompt, and even you cannot make AI to write a good prompt. So, like अभी क्या देखा जाता है कि with the help of AI, we are becoming dumb. Okay, literally we are becoming dumb. Okay, so what we do, we use AI in every use case. Even if we want to reason anything, we would use AI. But my friends, I would tell you कि in this era of AI, in this surf of AI, you should not lose your intelligence. AI is only to help you out. Don't lose your intelligence. Okay, learn Python, learn mental maths. I know AI is there to reason everything, to code everything, but at least you should know, na? Because after getting the output, if you are not able to reason it, if you are not able to explain it to any client or someone, then it is of no use. So you need to have a very strong domain knowledge, very strong coding knowledge, everything. Okay, then only you can define context, intent, persona, hierarchy, examples, and the constants also. And then you will define loop. Okay. So what the quality checks it has to do in the output. Okay. So I will copy this prompt. Simply I will go to Claude. I will paste it out. Okay. So see, now the Claude has started to read the all the skills it has. So it has started reading the front end design skill, what it will be required to build a website. So now my Claude is telling me now I need the resume, CV content. Let me prompt it. Okay. So I will give the Claude one CV. Let me give my CV to the Claude. Okay, this is my CV. I'm giving it to Claude. Okay, build me an recruiter friendly portfolio. Okay, so now the magic will happen. Now the Claude has read all things about my CV, all the content from my resume, and now it has started building a stunning production grade portfolio. Even the CSS, the design, everything will be decided by Claude. Okay. If you want something specific in your portfolio website, you can define it in prompt. Okay. Like if you want some special typography, if you want some special design, so वो सारी चीजें आप prompt में starting में define कर सकते हो. Okay. If you are not defining it, then Claude will itself decide what will be best for your resume or your role. So you can see that Claude is literally doing the whole coding. It is literally building a whole website for me, starting from writing the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everything. Okay. So जब तक Claude ये build-up करता है, हम चलते हैं हमारे दूसरे pattern के तरफ. Okay. So I think Cipher pattern is clear to all. Let me move to Delta framework. Okay. So what you do in Delta framework is we do domain loading. Okay. So in domain loading, what we do is we inject a specialized knowledge, terminology, or industry context. So simply you are defining the context first. Then you are defining the expertise level of that person who is working in that industry or in that specialized field. Okay. You are defining the depth. Then you are defining the layered thinking. So in Delta framework, we are specifically using tree of thoughts. Okay, we are using different branches, different patterns in which the AI can reason. Okay, then you have to define the thinking anchors. So thinking anchors simply means you have to define the rules. Okay, so what it has to follow in the ground analysis, what it has to build, what data points it has to touch, what benchmarks it has to touch. So you are defining the benchmarks, you are defining the quality standards, you are defining your things what the AI has to touch. Okay. And then you are defining the adaptive output. So in every pattern, in every hybrid pattern, you will see this, the self consistency check. So in Delta framework, what the AI will do, AI will, with the help of tree of thought, because in tree of thought, you have multiple independent patterns. So what AI will do, AI will synthesize the answers or output with that multiple independent patterns. ठीक है, तो वो independent pattern से वो सारे outputs निकालेगा और जो सबसे best output होगा, ठीक है, which like मैचेस योर क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड, वो आपको क्या करेगा, रिप्लाई करेगा. ओके, सो लेट अस सी दैट आवर वेबसाइट इज रेडी और नॉट. So it's still coding, and you can see that it's defining each and everything, the CSS, the JS, everything you need. Okay. Okay. So the best use case of Delta prompt framework is when you want to do deep analytical intelligence on data set. So people working in consulting companies, people working in management areas, or people working in competitive intelligence, this prompt framework is like an AI assistant for you. Okay. So जिस भी जॉब इंडस्ट्री में एक्सेल एनालिसिस, ओके, डेटा सेट एनालिसिस वाला सारा काम होता है, उनके लिए ये मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि प्रॉम्प्ट फ्रेमवर्क एक वरदान की तरह है. So it's ideal for Excel analysis if you want to build dashboards, financial analysis, intelligence, KPI forecasting, market research, each and everything which is related to data. If you use this prompt framework, you can overpower AI as your analyst, as your strategy analyst, as your market researcher, each and everything. Because what you are doing, what is the core strength, that you are giving a multi-lens analytical reasoning. आप यहाँ पर डेल्टा फ्रेमवर्क में एआई को सिर्फ एक रीजनिंग पाथ नहीं दे रहे, आप उसको मल्टीपल लेंसेज से सोचने पर मजबूर कर रहे हो, मल्टीपल रीजनिंग पाथ दे रहे हो आप यहाँ पर उसे. ठीक है. And then it gives a predictive synthesis. After going through this multiple lens analysis, it will give you the top notch answer. Okay. So let me show you the Delta prompt. I have one built with me. Okay. So this is the Delta prompt. So first we have defined the domain. So like you are operating inside a tier 1 investment bank financial intelligence unit. The data set is confidential corporate financial data. So you are defining each and everything, where he is operating, which type of investment bank it is. Okay. Then you are defining something about data set. Okay. So what type of data are analysts working with? So data set is very confidential corporate financial data. And then you are defining the domain context. Okay. So what it has to do. और in that domain, what you are like, आप क्या उम्मीद करते हो AI को in return? Okay, so what you are expecting out of AI as an analyst working in a tier 1 investment bank financial intelligence unit. So what you are expecting is it should follow IFRS standards, DCF valuation, variance analysis, cohort benchmarking, and this all are domain standards. Then you will define the output standard. What standard or what quality you are expecting from AI. Then the expertise level. Okay, what expertise level it has to follow. Then your layered thinking. So first of all, AI has to think from the lens one, that is the operational lens. What is the business actually doing? What are the revenue drivers, cost structures, margin compression, expansion, everything. Then it has to see the same input from the lens two, and then it has to see the same input from the lens three. So you are defining three multiple reasoning pathways. First is operational, strategic, and predictive. And then you are defining the thinking anchors. So anchor one is, if it is calculating revenue, then what it has to do. You are defining formulas or you're defining some rules. Okay, so you need to always decompose, never report top line alone. Then you are defining anchor two. Okay, so you are basically defining the rules, what it has to follow. Then what should be the examples? Okay, so now you are defining the examples. With the help of examples, what the AI will do, AI will learn the patterns. Okay, so if the input is this, then it has to give the this output. If the input is this, then it has to give this output. If I am giving an input, revenue is 12.4 million, okay, up to 8% year of year, then what it has to do in the output. Okay. So I think our website is ready. So guys, you can see the website, what the AI has built it for me. See this. With just one prompt, one click, the whole website is ready. And this is not a very simple website. It's a very dynamic website. Okay. You can see this.
Akshay, is it interactive? Is this
Yes,
website
sir,
interactive?
this is
Okay,
interactive. Okay, this
lovely,
is
very
interactive.
good.
With just one click. Okay. So this was the use case of Cipher prompt framework. Now I would show you the use case of Delta prompt framework. Okay. So let me just copy this prompt. Okay, so I was in middle. Okay, huh. So you will define the examples, then what it has to deliver. So it has to deliver executive summary, a KPI dashboard table, strategic recommendation, and every output section must include your metrics. Okay, so you are defining metrics, what the AI need to follow, benchmark, signal, recommended action. Okay, so what recommended action the AI has taken. Okay, so that you can review it. Okay, and then the constraints, boundaries, and then the quality gate check. So if you see in each and every pattern, we have a quality gate check before getting the output. Okay, and the output has to be passed from the quality gate check before the delivery. Okay, so let me copy this prompt. Okay, so I will give the prompt. Okay, now the Claude is checking the Excel skills available for analysis work after giving the prompt. Okay. Let me have this data. So I even have a data set defined for it for this master class. So this is the data what I will be using out. So you can see the data. It's a 2000 field data set and we will analyze the data set in just 5 minutes. Okay, in just 5 minutes. Even I will take less than that. Okay, so I think the Claude is set and now it is asking what financial data are you bringing to the table. So let me paste my data. Okay. Then as I selected it, I will be giving excellent CSV. Then what is your primary analytical objective? What I need to do? So I need a full P&L, profit and loss analysis. Or let me select competitive benchmarking and KPI dashboard. Okay. Now, please go ahead and upload your CSV and Excel file. So let me upload it. Now it has start working on our financial data. So first of all, it will start reading the data. It has uploaded the data. You can see your data, okay, live in front of you, okay. Now it is doing the deep structural analysis of the data set. So it has start executing the Python code to read the data. It has start importing all the important libraries, pandas, numpy, which is used for data analysis, okay, and all the KPI extraction and everything in just one click. Okay, so let's wait for the output and explore our third pattern. Third is Prism framework. So in Prism framework, what you are doing is you are defining the problem. Okay, so you define the exact boundaries and unknowns. So what is your problem? What are the boundaries? Or what are the constraints you are facing? Okay, then you will define a reframe framework. Okay, then you will define an interrogation pipeline, then how to synthesize the output and how to map the output. Okay, the structure of output. I will show you the example of Prism framework. It will be more clear with that example. So this is an example of Prism framework. So first of all, you are defining a problem that you are a chief intelligence officer at a firm, and what is your mission? So you are defining your mission. Produce a complete competitive intelligence war room brief on the target company. Okay. Then you are defining your mission. Then the scope. What are the scope the AI has to follow, or what are the scope the AI has to work on? Okay, business model, GTM, modes, vulnerability, strategic trajectory. Okay, what is the audience? What the standard it has to follow? Okay, so McKinsey, horizontal, quality. So you need your report up to a McKinsey level report. Okay. Then you are defining three perspectives. Okay. What you are defining is then you are defining three perspectives. So what the AI now has to do, whatever the input is or whatever the analysis will be, it has to see from three different lenses. From the competitor's view, from a customer view, and from an investor view. Because what you are building is a competitive intelligence report. And okay, all your white. And then you will give the examples, your timeline, okay, and then how it has to synthesize the whole output.